order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right. The City of Greendale, in compliance with our Title VI implementation plan, is a non-discriminating city. We have developed a complaint of discrimination form that is open to the public at any time, along with a voluntary public survey. Thank you. Any audience comments? Aaron, do you have? Okay. All right. Unfinished business. Let's start with the Ridge Avenue project. Is that you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
We awarded the Ridge Avenue project to Rowe. That was last meeting. All the paperwork has been signed and sent to NDOT. That was sent on 2/18. Sean's going to be taking care of making sure all the lead lines are good, checking manholes and valve boxes. Civil City Foreman, we've already checked all the inlets. We're good to go on that. Derek Smith with Sycamore Gas, I talked to him the other day, and we're good on that end as well. So everything's moving in the right direction. So.
Okay. Good deal. All right, Sean, you want to take Noun Avenue water main replacement?
Yes, we're gonna award the project to Queen City tonight.
Yes.
I didn't bring the bids. I totally brained it sitting on my desk.
Okay, well.
Do you have the amount? I don't have the amount with me.
You,
I don't have last week's packet with me.
I do, that's on my desk. I'll grab it.
I kinda left her in a hurry.
That's fine. I got it.
You guys got through all the references and everything
Yes.
was checking out? You feel warm and fuzzy about it?
Yeah, Kevin looked into that
Okay.
and everything, sent out an email. We met, myself, the mayor, were you there? And Nathaniel met and talked about it, and all the references for the water came back good.
Okay, that's good. I know I saw that one of them was an MSD project, and I've heard about working for MSD, and it sounded like it was a very hard project, deep, and also a lot of dewatering and stuff, so, I mean, things can go south and stuff like that, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so Queen City Mechanical, their base bid was $474,837.
I'm sorry, 474?
$837. The alternative bid was $475,101. 101. So if somebody like to make a motion to that.
And the total then for, we're talking about doing phases one and two. And what's, I can't,
Yeah, I don't have it either, buddy.
A, 3.
What about the valving out there?
The-
You know,
sorry? I didn't hear you.
you had water leaks out there and you wasn't able to get them shut down.
Yes.
You know, you're gonna have to do tie-ins. Or you gonna have to do some insertive valves, or
We're
you
just
gonna
gonna
have to
go
do
back
some.
further and keep turning on valves until we can get that line shut down for them to tie it in.
949, 938, okay.
Because the one on the other side of the tunnel, those valves by the tunnel work.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. It's
Coming back this way.
Coming back this way. They're gonna start at the tunnel and work their way back towards, Hag. So we'll just have to keep going down further and close them off. That one there at Core, we think it shut it down, but there was the other one coming down, is that Snaybelt? That
Naybelt, and you got,
And that one out of, Middle.
Arthur,
Is it Arthur? I'm trying to picture the roads.
It's Cora Arthur Schneebelt.
yeah.
Right. And then that one there by Meadow Creek. Am I saying the road right? That one that's in the grass, we couldn't find that valve. The guys are gonna locate that.
But your plan is they're gonna build the vast majority of it and stub everything up to the meter crocks, then
Yes.
get everything back teed, tested, pressure tested, and then keep the old line on, if you will, and then try to just do it. It's gonna get complicated.
It is.
You know, you might have to get into some insertive valves, or I know those team valves are
Team
expensive
valves
as
are
can
very
be.
expensive.
But, you know, you're gonna have to sit down and try to figure it out. without having anyone being out of water, you don't wanna be on Channel 9 News.
No.
You know, for
My name's
extended
Vince
periods.
Carstetter. I work for the city of Greendale.
Like Kid Valley Lake?
The meters and all that, we're just gonna put them all the way up, put the crock in, the setter and everything, and just turn that off.
Yeah.
And tap to the new line, have everything tapped, corp stops turned on and all that.
The
And
biggest
hopefully-
problem they're gonna run into, Charlie, is, you know, some of those tie-ins, if you
Tie-ins.
will, like Cora and Park Grove and stuff like that.
Getting things shut down.
Yeah,
Yep,
that,
and Feller, that line going up there and everything. We're just gonna take one section at a time and just roll slowly. I think the first part is gonna give us the headache the most till we figure something out, how to smoothly do everything as we go along.
is there some contingency that, you've got all the materials, you're buying all that stuff, so if you run into situations where you do need to get like a inserted valve, I'm not even gonna say inserted valve, but a team valve or a hydrostop, you got some contingency to where you can work with them and get that
We
stuff
hope.
done?
We haven't talked, we're having a pre-construction meeting Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I think it's Wednesday.
Yep.
With the contractor, explain everything to him, and hopefully be able to see out further as he goes along, hey, this is gonna happen here, we need to take care of this now before we get to this point.
Stuff's gonna come up, you just gotta deal with it.
Yep, like everything else.
With that then, I'll make a motion to approve, the Nowlan Avenue Water Main Project, and if my math is right, it's for $949,938 to, is it Queen City Mechanical? Pursuant to the review, by Reso Engineering and the, reference checks.
Second.
Got a first and second, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, Sean, now on Avenue North and South electric update.
Yes, they're tying in, today they tied in that section, down by the condos, coming from the step down, out to Nowlan, up Nowlan. We used to have belly switches by Schneebelt. Those are being replaced by the switch down there towards, who's that guy that built the house up on the hill? Remember we had to do the tap on Nowlan, it was deep? Bushman. Yeah, we're putting a switch there instead of the belly blades up by, Schneebelt. They got all that tied in today. They tied in the two circuits, then they separated the two circuits and everything, and they're moving along. Tomorrow they're having outages to start putting the houses on a new line so they can tear out the old line. For that section there, they're up to around Schneebelt with new poles. And they're trying to get that section done, then they're gonna roll up further. They're hoping that this slowed them down, coming down that, drive by the condos there. That slowed them down a little bit, getting up in that mud and the grass, and they're hoping they'll be able to run right up through Nowlan. They're getting a track machine for that right-of-way down in that valley behind Forest Drive Apartments. We have a power line going through the woods there, across from Schneebelt Ponds. They're getting a track equipment in there to set the pole and everything to get down in there to get that one, and then they should be able to run straight up Nowlan.
How's, Meadow Creek being served? So is it still 4 kV and you got a step down feeding it?
That whole Nowlan's all 4 kV.
Okay.
Everything's 4 kV. It's
But-
been changed out, the transformers and everything's been changed out to dual voltage.
In Meadow?
Meadow Creek.
Really?
Yep. The only thing we gotta take care of, you know where, I'm trying to think of his name, that young kid that lives on a corner.
So all that stuff along
Bill?
Brindley,
Blue House, the new one?
No, right on Meadow Creek on the corner. Well, there's some underground that goes and
I was
heads
gonna
towards
say-
J. We have a small section of wire we have to replace.
Snaybelt, Joe?
What's that?
Joe Snaybelt?
Nope,
No?
no. Trying to think. Kenny, where Kenny
Yeah.
lives.
Yelton.
Oh,
Yelton,
Ken-
yeah,
okay.
Yelton.
Oh.
Right there by his yard.
Yeah.
There's a hole there, and that feeds just a little section, and we need to replace that underground wire before we switch to 12
Wasn't
kV.
there like a big transformer right behind April's house back at Drive, I think?
There is a transcloser with a pole mount transformer in a box. Yeah, we're gonna change that out, and that goes over, Steve, if you remember, that goes over to Brindley, and behind the houses between Brindley and Richmond, there's another transclosure, so we're gonna change them out. And
Does it
behind
make-
Vince's place is a transclosure.
Because it makes sense, right? Well,
At the time.
yeah. it's not-
Never seen nothing. You get people to
One of the
open
most
that up, and
dangerous things.
it's a pole-mounted transformer that's on the ground inside of a box. It's like,
With a cutout inside the box also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's got bad written all over it.
So we're gonna change them out before we switch it all over 12 kV.
good news, good job.
Okay, no update on the IMPA electric ordinance audit. Structure point water plant evaluation plan. So, today, Anthony and I met with Dell and Kelly Milan in Kelly's office, and we talked through the whole situation, all the options of Greendale being a wholesale water customer, Greendale and Lawrenceburg going together to revamp Lawrenceburg's plant, Greendale rebuilding our plant, also Greendale building a plant north of the existing plant. So, Kelly, we had a good conversation, lasted about 70 minutes. Kelly had no appetite for Lawrenceburg taking on us as a partner. He also he was not interested in spending $6 million for us to be a wholesale customer either. During the week, I talked to Charlie. Charlie was concerned about if we update our plant, do the chloride and fluoride need to be removed?
Chlorine and fluoride.
Yeah, and I talked to Karen Savitra, and her opinion was it does not. We would be grandfathered in, so she said that would not be a problem. She said the only problem would be the fire department, and she said we could walk them through why our reasoning is, and she didn't think that would be a problem. So, Kelly sent a letter late this afternoon. You all have it in front of you.
Can I ask you a question? You
Sure.
said something about he didn't have the appetite for him spending $6 million. What exactly do you mean by that?
Well, for him to take us on as a wholesale customer, they would have to make $6 million in upgrades in their plant.
Okay, I understand that.
Yes.
I thought from the standpoint, if there was the appetite for the regional type thing that.
Well, we would have spent the $6 million.
Right, we'd come to the table about
Right.
buying into that.
Right.
Well, that's disappointing. I think you mentioned it earlier that the position that they're in, they probably don't need to.
They don't need us.
Right, but, you know, I guess I was trying to play upon the interest of doing the right thing, going way out into the future, and, you know, our experience at the SDRSD has not been that horrible. It seems like the proper way to solve the problem back then was with the sewer situation, and this might be coming up with water, with PFAS and everything else that's on the horizon. There's just a lot of challenges.
Well, with PFAS, I do feel it's critical that we control the building north of the utility, 512 Ridge. It's
Well, yeah, I have no idea
what's involved with that.
what's involved.
Because nobody knows
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
involved.
unless, I don't have a crystal ball to see what we're gonna be dealing with in 30 years from now, or 40 years, about, you know, whatever. 20, 30, 40 years ago, we weren't talking about PFAS. We
Right.
are now. And what, they call it,
Forever.
microplastics and all these other things. I think Kevin brought it up during the presentation, so, you know, I don't know, I just know there's gonna be a lot of challenges from the standpoint of going forward, but this pretty much
Yeah.
sticks a fork in it.
Well, and also, we have a time deadline if we're gonna keep chasing this SRF grant.
I get it.
You know, and moving forward, so I think we need to make a decision tonight, whether, you know, we've hired Karen, she spent a year on it. Prior to that, we spent 2 or 3 years looking at a couple Lockmuller, reports that they wanted to build a new $17 million plant I think this one's much more palatable.
Yeah, we don't need another study. We're getting to be like SDRSD where we,
Study it to death.
yeah. we
Right,
had three
study
different-
it, table it till the study is no longer valid, and then you study it again, and then nobody has the appetite to spend the money, and it
Yeah.
sits around again, and then you do it.
Then we
again.
get to the third study, we come back and exactly what the first study said, that's what we ended up doing. It's a sewer district.
Right.
It was only probably $10 million more.
Well,
So,
right, and in the meantime, COVID hit and the prices doubled.
Yeah, exactly
Right.
what happened.
Yeah. So I would like to, someone make a motion that we move forward with this and,
So, back up a second. So I know they had the scope. The scope, and I apologize, I missed the last meeting, but it was in the meeting before that. Was the scope in there? Was it a detailed scope, or was it just an estimate of what they were doing?
She had a task order, and I think that it was, included on what they were going to do.
It was a,
She did send a task order with an amount to file, to have the preliminary engineering done and submitted to SRF by April 1st.
you may go get that.
if we want a decision tonight, I think we need to, because
Yeah.
I think I reviewed it and looked at it,
Okay.
but are you guys?
Hey, well, while I'm finding that, how about, we'll come back to number 5. Nathaniel, will you take number 6 and 7 and start moving forward, please?
Yeah, as far as the Valley Woods Dam, no update there. The drainage, Bear Becker sent back a few numbers to me the other day. I thought they were a little bit high, said something, I kinda talked to Steve about a little bit and pick his engineering brain on. So him and I are actually gonna go out later this week and meet out there, just to kinda see if what they're discussing even really makes sense for us. I think that was the best option before I bring you guys a bunch of paperwork and debate that route on it. We did get right of entries. Anthony drafted those up for us. So I had one homeowner's already signed it. I'm waiting on 2 others to sign it. So that way our Civil City guys can get in there and clean that area up real good.
How wide is the right-of-way down through there? Is it only a 50-foot right-of-way, 25 feet each side? I honestly can't
I
remember.
honestly don't know. to
Talking
be
about on
honest with you.
Springwood?
Springwood Court.
Springwood has a 50-foot right-of-way, but it also has a platted 20-foot storm on the north side.
Okay, that's a good thing then, right? Okay.
Yeah, one of the, really the biggest issue is mainly on like the Springwood Court and Sycamore, just for us to get in there and really clean that up, we're gonna track into their property.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, one way in, one way out, but just to dot our i's and cross our t's, we went ahead and got the right entry permits together, so. I did go down and look at the culvert pipe the other day when the weather was nice. On the Springwood Court side, when you look inside of it, the whole entire bottom is rotted out. The biggest concern I have with it is, as the water approaches it, the right side of that culvert pipe is just total, I mean, you just see black inside into the road. So that tells me that the water's going into the road and not going towards that culvert pipe like it should, which would probably explain why the road's slipping on the other side. So, I know Steve's talked a lot about wanting to slip line it, and that's your guys' decision, but I don't know how you slip line that. And like I said, you're still gonna have to fix the road anyways.
Well, Charlie knows there's the main sewer line coming down from Hidden Valley Lake. Every drop of sewer goes right through there. And then there's the 12-inch water main that we sent all the way up to the tank. And then, Sean, I know you got power over on the other side of the road. And what else is over there? Fiber and...
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Communication all over there.
Man, that's gonna be a big dig, to say the least. I just need to go out and look at it.
Yeah.
I mean,
There was a sinkhole, almost say last year there.
Yeah, so,
Nathan ended up, we found a hole, and it was open cavity. They broke up the road, tried to see where it was going, but they ended up filling it with gravel and everything, because they couldn't find out.
Yeah.
I think you
where.
have like a transformer or junction box over there, and it was starting to...
I'd have to swing back
So-
over there.
Okay. Well, we just need to I just wanna take a look at it one more time. You know, could get creative. I don't know if there's a way, it just depends on how bad it's eroded away. Is there a way we could get some kind of slurry in there and, you know, get some kind of you know, bottom in it to where we could slip it? I mean, is it a 30-inch or 36-inch?
36-inch, which, I mean, that's also, if we went the route to redo it, does it make sense to up that pipe in size? I mean, I know it takes on a lot of water as it is now, so I mean, that might be an option too. I mean, like I said, I just, without being an engineer, to me, I don't know if there's enough grit, for lack of better words, on that pipe to even bond anything to it, and it's got kind of a weird jog in it, so I don't know
Well,
if
that's the big problem, is if it's not a rifle barrel, if there's any kind of whatever deflect with it,
Yeah,
you're not gonna be able to slip
and
it.
that's, to me, I think that's gonna be the biggest problem with trying to slip line it, but I mean, obviously, if we can do it, then cool, but.
We'll take a gander at it.
Okay.
Thursday, right, I think?
Yep. Kevin, St. Elizabeth Drainage Project?
Yeah, I don't have like a formal report.
No, just give us what you,
Yeah, I was out there last week. They were tying into the catch basin right there at Greendale Plaza Drive. And everything looked good. I mean, they've been keeping the site really clean, I think. So I think I think they did put a sign out there, but they're gonna correct that.
Busted up my force main sign, small little green one.
Oh, they told me about that.
Yeah. Went over there and it was buried. They also, I don't know if Christina talked to you, they hit valve boxes and busted valve boxes, so
Okay.
they need to replace those valve boxes.
Okay.
There's two of them. There was one, the whole box was up. We have no idea where they came from, because my map only shows 2 valves in that area. And they were both broke at the top, like the fatter end where the top goes in. This is a whole valve box. It might have been buried back in the day, but it was a whole valve box sitting up above ground and the top was even covered with mud. I don't know if they uncovered it, because they didn't. To me, I can only find 2 valves. That's the only 2 valves that we can find on the map. And the valve boxes, the tops are broken off, the big fat top. This is a whole section. So, I don't know if you guys, Charlie or Steve, you know if there's another valve off the top of your memory over there. I know there's 3. No, excuse me, 2, but we found a 3rd valve box. It seemed like it was buried.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you closer to Greendale Plaza, or are you down by the fireworks place?
No, we're there by urgent care, where that line shoots across the road, the water
Okay.
line,
Oh, so
heading towards
water.
the fireworks shop. Nah.
I can't remember, Sean, honestly.
Alright.
I was curious too on I'll call it the Ameristop side. Was there any type of work that they were gonna do with that 15 or 24-inch line, the old original line that goes underneath 50? I can't remember the plans. Were they gonna, was there plans to slip that, or?
I'd have to look. I'm sorry, I don't have that.
Okay.
Kind of getting acquainted with the project still.
Well, it's been on the books forever. I know Christina was working heavily with it. I just can't remember what was planned over there. I know they were replumbing, if you will, in front of the old car dealership, and water was gonna come back towards, to the north, if you will, or which direction am I going? Yeah, west or east. I was just curious. They haven't started on that side at all, I don't believe.
no, I don't think so either.
Because I know there's some work over there that needs to be done on the other side.
And they tell me that's gonna be the hard job. There's
It
a lot
is.
buried over there.
There is. There's a big old water main. There's the low pressure sewer that's going through there. It's gonna
Gas
be.
line?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Our favorite, the sewer smell at Carroll and,
This is number 9.
oh, I'm sorry, Ridge Avenue, reclosure.
Still in order, nothing
Okay,
changed.
good.
Yeah, they haven't came in yet.
No update then.
No update.
All right. Sewer smell at Carroll and Schneebelt.
All right, he's coming tomorrow to get a sample, to test the sample, and then bring in the tote and setting it off Thursday. He's supposed to let me know how they plan on unloading it from the truck, or is that something we have to unload off the truck and set it up down there?
What's the material again? It's a
Nitronox, something like that, chemical. I can't remember what it was called.
Okay.
We sealed up all the,
Nitronox?
I'm sorry,
Nitronox
nitro.
for hydrogen sulfide prevention is what I wrote down.
Yep. You're on it. You're ready to be a sewer technician. Someone's been coaching you. Also, we sealed up the 3 manholes with gas underneath the jackpot. So the only air coming out will be coming up through the jackpot itself.
Did you try your, test and shut the ARV?
I'm afraid to do that, Steve. I'm afraid because how would I know if I vapor locked it, besides it not pumping out?
Yeah.
And I don't want,
That's how you'll know.
yeah.
That's how you know. And then-
Something I don't want to experience.
Well, it's okay. You just open the valve and then the
Valve,
air will come out
valve.
and you'll lose it. And it'll start pumping again. I'm just curious.
No,
you
I
know.
haven't, because I'm nervous about that. I hate vapor locking it.
I'll go do it. I mean,
Oh, of course you would. Charlie would do it, Andy would do it, Vince would even get down there and do it. He doesn't mind. We can do it, we'll do it tomorrow, shut up and check it tomorrow afternoon and first thing Wednesday morning to make sure that it's
I think-
pumping.
There is a small belly after the,
yeah, I know. Where the
after
creek
the air
is.
release, where the creek is, yeah. So
I'm
that-
worried.
That's the only reason that air release needs to be there at all, is that small belly. And that small belly might not be enough to be a problem, maybe.
I'd say just try it. And again, if there's any issues, just open the ARV back and it'll burp the air and you're back online.
All right.
Give him his number too.
No, they're gonna put Vince down in there.
Did you find anything with the manholes that you did reseal? Did they look like the whatever, the sealant was ate up and?
We didn't take the manhole cover off itself, because we have no way of getting back by the air release, something to pick that up and put it exactly back down.
So you just tried to caulk the
We're
exterior?
caulking the outside, because we looked, the one over, right before it drops over the hill, and that one at the end of Carroll, the seal's sticking out pretty good. It's the air release, I think, you can't see underneath there, so we're gonna caulk around that Wednesday, when we get a little nicer weather.
I think that's the one that we were smelling. that day
Smell
when
it,
we were
yeah.
there.
We're gonna caulk around out on the outside, because the inside's wet, inside that manhole.
Okay.
It's all wet and it won't dry unless we leave the lid off for a while.
Okay.
Still our project at Ridge, no update. We finalized the material and labor bids. Oh, do you need to finalize them, or do you have a spreadsheet, Nathaniel?
Yeah, I mean, as long as you guys are good to approve the spreadsheet that I made for you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at, I looked at that. What we used to do all the time was just accept all the bids, and then when a project comes up, you look to see what's
Yeah,
in the
that-
best interest of Greendale, like, you
Fine
know,
with me.
so.
Yeah, but I said however you guys wanted to do it, or is okay, so.
I make them, so wait. So, let's break it down and make the materials bid.
Okay.
Okay, so, materials bid, looks like row, on patching was low bid at $12 per square foot, and looks like row was also low on crack sealing for $6,700. So with that, those two, I'll make a motion to approve row for patching and crack sealing for 2026.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
Got a first and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
The materials, it looked like McCool,
Yep.
trucking, looks
Yep.
like they were low bid on all the materials,
they
so
were
we don't
across
have
the
to
board.
split.
Across the board, yeah.
Don't have to split the bids, so I make a motion to approve, McCool for 2026 for, material delivery to, Greendale.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second.
I'll second.
Got a first and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
And then on the, labor and equipment, I make a motion to approve all the 5 contractors, TT Maintenance, Likens, McCool, Howard, and Complete contractors accept their bids, and then also allow the staff to, select, the contractor depending on the scope of the project, who would be in the best interest of Greendale for the best price.
Okay. Got a first and second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay. Thank you. All right, let's go back to, let's see, number 5, Structure Point Water Plant Evaluation Plan. So in front of you is the task order from Karen Savidra. It looks like owner agrees to compensate engineer a lump sum amount of $594,200. A breakdown of the fees for, I assume, planning and overseeing of the construction of the water plant remodel. Let's call it a remodel. Steve, they don't get cheaper.
I know I read through this, are you guys, did you guys get a chance to really get through this at all?
Well, real quick, maybe before it might help you. So me and Sean and Mike Perlyberg, we kind of been looking into a potential grant source through the federal government. And if, Mike, if you want to maybe speak a little bit on that for us.
Yeah, we met with Michael Grimm, who's Field Office Director for Congresswoman Aaron Houchin, and discussed community project funding as a way to assist with the grant dollars to fund this project to a large extent. Just on Friday, Congresswoman Houchin's office put out a call, essentially a call for projects for fiscal year 27 community project funding project requests. You may have seen a few weeks back there was an announcement from Congresswoman Houchin's office that she's been successful in getting funds for some projects, a handful of water projects included in her district. I think Madison got one, a few other communities. I don't think there were any in Dearborn County. But that's the funding opportunity we discussed with Congresswoman Houchin's staffer, and kind of learned about that process, what it would take to get there. Having a PER in place is kind of critical. And a PER is useful not just for the TPF, but also for Indiana Finance Authority State Revolving Fund, which could be a plan B potentially to fund this project. So I think from the sounds of it, that's maybe what you're looking at up there is having a PER.
It is. Yep.
So.
And the grant wouldn't cover that in the first place. That would be on us, as I understand it, correct?
Yeah, I think it could, don't quote me on this, but I think it would count toward your match.
Right. But it's Greendale dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
To fund the PER.
So we would have to get the PER done, then we can then apply for this project, and we could show that we spent this money for the PER, then that would count as our match, is what I think I heard you say?
And we need this, again, for the SRF, correct? State resolving.
We need the PER for the SRF.
Yes.
For the application,
Right.
You could get fast track through the community project funding request process if your project is on IFA's SRF IUP, intended use plan. And to get on the intended use plan, again, you need a PER.
Right.
So.
Intended use plan.
We need more acronyms.
Yes.
I never heard of that one before, that's a new one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's in, okay, I'm not gonna ask it.
The way he explained to me, not to cut Mike off, but like, you have to have criteria done, certain things done for them to even pay attention to it. Where when this Michael gets it, after we send it to him, he'll review it. He can't touch the grant, but he can tell us what to change, what needs to be fixed. But if you have the IUP, then they check off yes, and there's a bunch of questions that go away and all, but you
You
need.
can't just dream up something and submit it.
Yes.
Right.
You have
Correct.
you have to show them you are working towards this goal.
You can still get a community project funding allocation or earmark without being on the state's intended use plan. It's just it's a little less of a sure thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a little bit more of a question to whether or not you make it through the committees on Capitol Hill and get included in an appropriations bill down the road. Whereas if you're on the IUP, it almost sounds like a rubber stamp.
And it has to be in by the end of March? Am I right about that? I can't remember what he said.
Community project funding request. So yeah,
The application.
they just, again, Friday there was an email that went out. Aaron, you may have received this.
I did. I can't remember the date.
So that application is open on Congresswoman Houchin's website. I don't know exactly when it closes, but, and they will take CPF project requests on a rolling basis through Congresswoman Houchin's office.
Mayor, do you want to consider taking a recess so your board members can review this task order?
We can. Yep.
So you made a copy of this, man-hour justification, I only got one page.
Well, isn't that your second page? Look on the back.
It's in here, yeah.
I might have missed it.
Look at the last page, Steve. I think that one fell off on yours. There should be two.
Second to the last.
You don't have it? Here, give me that one. I'll just trade you.
Sorry about that.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we finish up the rest of the agenda, then we take a short recess, then let's look at it. How's that
Okay,
sound?
works for me. Okay, under new business, we're calling it a skid steer, but it's truly not a skid steer. It's a, what is it truly?
It's a mini skid steer. A lot of people call it a dingo.
Dingoes.
Yeah. So anyways, after the snowstorm and just trying to snowball how we can resolve some of our logistical issues that we had with just cleanup and talking with Linda, the parks president, we kind of decided on a mini skid steer. One, just the fact of it can help with just snow plow usage as needed. It's something that I know the Parks Department's gonna use a lot, our Civil City guys will use a lot in everyday use. You'll see on your guys' packet where I put in the Kubota and just kinda gave the MSRP price. That was never really an option for us, just with overall cost and then talking to our mechanic about some of Kubota's potential problems. The Bobcat MT100, which is the smaller version of the MT120, was an option at first. Once we started looking into the actual machine itself, we feel like the Bobcat MT120 is the way to go. Reason being, the MT120, it has more hydraulic power, and it has a third hydraulic nipple on it, for lack of better words, and that comes into play. That third nipple, basically, it allows oil to flow freely through the machine back to the attachment. So obviously, when you got RPMs ramped up, that's kind of an important factor in that. It also has a higher reach and longer reach arms on it, so that's going to allow for us to get in and out of trucks a little easier. The Parks Department, they have pledged to pay $15,000 towards the machine. If we decided to do the stump grinder, that would be on the parks to pay for that. And then the Civil City Department would pay the remainder of $28,163.20. The machine itself has a 1-year warranty, unlimited hours, and any attachment we would buy would be 18-month warranty.
So the use for this, you said you're gonna, what's the intended use?
Well, I mean, it started out as what we could do to help with snow issues if and when we have a snow like this again. So at first it kind of was like just buy a snow blower. But then it came more into what do we need that our guys can use every day. So obviously snow removal, with the bigger machine, you could do small grade projects. You can use it to unload and load trucks with mulch, dirt, etc. So it's more just a wheelbarrow. That was also why we threw some of the attachments in there, which we would remove the auger. We're not going to do that. But I know, talking with our Civil City foreman and Parks foreman, they do a lot of trenching every year, which is why we threw that in as an attachment. Each bucket was in there was a 36-inch bucket that our Parks foreman and Parks president felt that was important, the smaller bucket to get in and around playground equipment. And then talking with our Civil City foreman, he felt to do some smaller grade projects, etc., that the 50-inch bucket was important. So like I said, the intent is to be able to use it more than just that one occurrence every 2 years type deal.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an expensive wheelbarrow, to say the least.
I don't disagree with you there, and that, like I said, that's kind of why we priced the all-out version, so that way it's not a glorified wheelbarrow. It can be used for a multitude of things throughout the day.
They're handy. I mean, I've used them several times. They're great for getting in between buildings
tight
and.
spaces.
Yeah.
I know we did a job out on Oberdeen where the contractor had to get up underneath one of those old, whitewater canal, and they used that dingo to get up in there, and it was great. I just wanna make sure that you have, this is gonna get used on a regular basis.
Yeah, and a goal that I've really tried to do with my department is to really talk to the guys about what they need, what they would like. I would like to, down the road, obviously, this is not a today process, but eventually I'd like to get it to where we have everything we need. Let's eliminate having to go rent things. Obviously, you're still gonna go rent an auger, cause you're gonna use that once every 2 year type deal, you know what I mean? But just overall usage.
How about the stump grinder? Do you guys, I mean,
That was Linda, it's Parks.
Let me say this on the outset, you know how badly I hate to spend money. I'm all in on this, okay, I'm all in. There are too many things that we have on the drawing board in the next few years. We're gonna need that small base, whatever you wanna call it, bobcat, dingo, whatever.
dingo?
Getting mulch out of some of these parks. We have to redo that outfield at Greendale Park. This thing with the snow may only happen every 10 years, but I don't wanna have a snow blower sitting over in the garage that we can't use unless it snows.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate the fact that, when we were, no pun intended, snowballing the idea of a snow blower, the mayor and I and Daniel, that, we broadened the scope of thinking to include this. And the reason that the Parks is willing to take on the cost of the stump grinder is that's pretty much a Parks issue. And if the, Director of Public Works says to me, you know, civil city budget will stomach the bulk of the price. If you give us 15 grand out of the Parks budget, that's a deal to me. And I'm happy out of the tree budget to pay for the stump grinder. And grind the city, you know, the curb stumps that we end up with, that really aren't in parks, but our guys would end up doing it anyway.
Well,
As much as I hate to buy toys, and it's pissed me off, some of the toys we've bought that don't do the job, I'm all in on this one.
let me back up. So we still have a skid steer, right?
We have two technically. We got the
Okay.
Kubota and then we got that old case machine.
And that, you still got the PowerPoint?
The bullpen.
We leave it on the old one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did we not buy a snow blower thing for attachment to that thing? too?
There is one for the Kubota that, and these are not my words, it was never used and or touched.
I don't think it.
So when I found that out, and what I've been doing with our civil city foreman as time allows, we've been really, really going through that garage and the sheds out back. And basically, if it don't work, figure out how it can work. And if you can't figure out how it can work, get rid of it. We did actually hook it up when we still had that snow. We had some time. And if we can't figure out a way to modify it a little bit, we're probably gonna get rid of it, because basically it shoots snow 40 feet high and 40 feet long. So we can't modify that, then what do we need it for?
Hard to control what it
Yeah,
is.
no, I don't think it really didn't it leave some snow on the, I mean, it didn't pick everything.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, to me, that's an extremely niche machine
Yeah.
for our area. And then I do, just kind of talking about the budget, because I don't disagree with you. I mean, that's a lot of money just to spend right now. I met with Becky a while back to go over our budgets. There's 20 grand that was allocated for the fuel tanks for this year. So we bought the fuel tanks last year under last year's budget, which was less than 10 grand. So that 20 grand is just sitting there. So that would be the bulk of the money I would use. And then I would take the rest out of our equipment budget. And by doing that, we still would have, I want to say, maybe 42,000 in that budget. So I'm not really damaging the budget in February. Like I said, there's money that's been allocated for other purposes that we no longer need it for. So that is kind of my goal with that. And
Well, I heard someone up here say a little bit ago too, the stump grinder, you know, things are gonna break, you're gonna start using that. Those are high maintenance type, you know, units. So it's awful nice just to send that back to Arts and say, here, it broke on us, it's yours.
Well, we're talking about that as a separate, as a purely a parks I don't think it goes into, the numbers are here. Nathaniel and Nate were good enough to give me the numbers. That's not the budget that, we're necessarily talking about tonight. The stump grinder's on me, if we get the stump grinder.
And like I said, some of that, and I do agree with you, Stephen, Linda, myself, Nate, and our mechanic, it was a lot of conversations about this. That's partly why we want to do the MT-120, because it has the horsepower, and with that third nipple, that helps all those attachments. It generates that oil through there, which I agree, it's still a high dollar attachment that can break, but the bigger machine helps to try and alleviate some of that.
How often do you get in a situation where you can't use a regular sized skid steer though?
I would say around here more often than not, to be honest with you. And I said, I do think Parks will probably utilize a little bit more than Civil City, but at the same time, I'm with all departments, so to me, if it's something that we can cross-utilize and help out the Parks Department a little bit, then that's something that I'm for. And in reality, we really only have one skid steer that is a joint venture between Parks, Civil City, Utilities, so like I said, it's the mini one's not the Kubota that we had sitting in the garage, but it's still something we can actually use, minus that case that only gets used to go tear up the road.
I will say this week, Parks is redoing the fence around Oki Park. They started with the skid steer and tore the living bejeebers out of the ground. Just because it was soft, I get it. The following day, they brought the dingo, and they have completed most of the work with the dingo because it tracks lighter and it doesn't do near the damage.
The skid steer does more damage to the turf in any of the parks close to the playgrounds where we need it than it's worth. And we're talking about moving a lot of mulch as we rotate the maintenance on these playgrounds. It's pretty tough to do with 3 guys in a wheelbarrow when you look at the mulch load coming out of Greendale Park, which is next up. We're not gonna be able to use that sling anymore. Sean took that, opportunity away.
He's talking about your vacuum, your vac truck.
Yeah, they said it's not the greatest thing to suck up the dry mulch.
I think the bottom line is this: if you're going to build things, if you're gonna install things, you better be prepared to take care of them.
Yeah, that's true.
This piece of equipment helps us take care of investments we already have in the ground, without the bells and whistles of a mini parking lot street sweep. This is a practical equipment.
So we're looking at the MT-120, and what on this quote, or let me back up, is this like on state contract?
So the number that you see is the Sourcewell contract that Becky helped me kind of update ours with that. So those would be the Sourcewell numbers that is from municipalities in good standing. So I don't think I put it in there, but just on this one, the Sourcewell price for the machine was just $33,000. Without the Sourcewell, you're above like 50. So it is a good deal. We are getting a lot for the price.
I was amazed how much that brought the price down.
Yeah, we've done it at the Great Parks with Sourcewell too.
I was floored.
It's already pre-bid type stuff. It's
Right.
the way to go.
It's the old NJPA pricing. I can't remember exactly the acronym. Another acronym.
Yes, right.
And I don't disagree with you guys as far as, if we're gonna spend this kind of money, we need to make sure we're using it. And I promise you, I've had this discussion with both foremans and mechanics and everybody, that if I'm gonna sit up here and ask you guys to do this, then A, it better be used, and more importantly, it better be taken care of. So they're all pretty much under understanding on that.
Yeah.
So real quick, it's the MT-120, what on all the attachments, what are we doing or not doing?
Obviously it's up to you guys. I would like to do the 36-inch bucket, the 50-inch bucket, and the trencher. I believe those were the attachments that I was wanting to purchase. On that trencher, The cool thing about that is, I mean, it's a little bit more expensive, but it has its standard 4-inch teeth on it. If for whatever reason we ever got in a situation where we needed bigger teeth, you can go buy them or you can go rent them, and all that is 2 bolts for each tooth, and you just take them off and put the new bolts on there. So
So what can it trench, like diameter of the pipe roughly, do you know?
I don't, Steve.
It won't be any wider than a 6-inch wide trench, so
Yeah.
you struggle to get a 6-inch pipe in it.
Yeah, well, I was gonna be amazed by that. I thought you're gonna tell me it'd be maybe like 2 or 4-inch pipe would be the max,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I don't know what this one is, but I know it won't be larger than.
For some reason, I want to say it was 36-inch. For some reason that's coming to mind. I could be.
You mean in depth?
Depth,
In depth?
Yeah, I think that was depth, and yep.
One trencher's not back here still, but
Oh, no, that thing broke. They couldn't get parts for that, with the blade on the back.
that was bad.
I tried to save it, trust me.
When I say we have junk right now, we have junk, and
That was
I'm trying my best to.
Okay, then the stump grinders, so you're saying get rid of it? I'm just kidding, Linda.
No, I'm saying that's a separate decision. I think this is a price list. This is a quote list.
Yeah.
This isn't a, we're gonna spend it today list, okay?
Well, that's where I'm going with all this. It sounds like it's in front of us for approval, right?
That is
So-
the ask.
If we're gonna do this, do you want your stump grinder in there
Stump
then?
grinder I don't want in there.
No, she's gonna pay for that with
I'll pay
park
it
board
out
money.
of a separate budget.
Okay, I'm hearing that, you know,
Look at the top 3, okay?
Yeah.
Look at the 2 buckets.
And the machine.
And the trencher. I don't think either Nathaniel or I have a big yearning for this auger at this moment in time.
No, I don't think we
do you need some kind of bolt-on cutting edge too, on top of that? Those are included? It looks like for a 36-inch
That
bucket.
cutting edge we need for snow removal on sidewalks and getting to the bathrooms in the parks.
Yeah, you want the cutting edge.
I,
on it.
Okay.
you can't move that snow with teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
but
have
you wanna
to
be
have
able,
that cutting edge.
but you wanna be able to take them off. That's the bull run part of it.
So we're talking
I mean,
about
it's
the
gotta-
36,
right.
the 50, and the trencher, plus the, I wanna say power drive, I don't know what you call it, this is your language, not
Unit,
mine.
the unit, the
Plus-
unit.
Plus a unit.
Yeah.
I think this is how I always think, you get the prices for everything, and if you can get something given to you, if you buy a package, then you do it. If you can't, you don't need it right now, but we are talking about the first 3 attachments plus the basic unit.
Becky, you don't know what that all adds up to, do you? I don't have a calculator.
$42,262.53.
And that's for all the items that we just talked about, the 2 buckets, the cutting edges, the trencher, and you said what was the?
That's it.
Yeah,
So-
but again, out of that 42,000 and change, Parks has already pledged and approved to pay 15,000. So my department, Civil City, would only be paying the remainder of that, which was,
So then,
$27,262.53.
I want your blessing
Yeah.
for the parks to pay that 15. I'd like to have your blessing.
Okay.
I may not need it, I like it, okay?
then at your park board meeting, then you're
And
going,
we've already discussed it. We're in.
Okay, someone give me the number again. 27,000 what?
40.
what?
Oh,
Okay,
The
that's,
total for the,
do
for
the,
everything is $42,262.53,
And it's
minus
auger.
the 15,000.
And the Civil City would be responsible for $28,163.20.
okay, I make a motion,
up to.
I make a motion to approve, the purchase of the MT 120 for the, let's see, the 2 buckets in the trencher, through our discussion today, and the Civil City portion of it was up to $28,163.20. Did I say that right?
What was the number again, Nathaniel?
28,163.20.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I think with the auger out, it's another 2,500 less than that.
So Becky, was the auger in it?
Yeah, I already had it out. I should have.
All you're talking about right now with those 2 numbers are the basic unit
I got you.
30-inch bucket
So,
or a
That 48,773 number is without the
Yes,
auger.
yeah,
I got you.
sorry.
Instead of the 51,
Yeah.
I got you. I missed that part. Okay, no, I'll second Steve's motion.
Okay, got a first and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you, guys.
motion carries, good, thank you. Okay, let's see.
Reso scope.
Yes, Reso scope for the CCMG for 2027. So as you all know, we're doing the water line from Hague Avenue to the underpass. And the scope is to come right behind it and pave. So Kevin, I drove that the other day. We really need to pave from Parkside to 1, I assume, right?
Yeah.
Go through the tunnel. You've been through the tunnel before? You're paved through the tunnel? I assume you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Why wouldn't we go to Highway 1? Is there any reason
I
not
thought it was
to?
in pretty good shape. I thought that area was good. I don't think was paved that long ago. But go ahead, no, it's
Well,
good.
I'm just
No,
thinking.
do it while, if
It's
community
an
crossings
80-20.
grant, yeah, do
Yeah.
it, do it.
Right, why wouldn't you?
Sure.
So,
And just considering that, I've actually talked to, the railroad, just to preliminarily, just to see what would be required, and, you could maybe get like a right of entry, but,
For
I
what?
wonder if
Wait.
paver would fit underneath the, I don't know, I'm just thinking through that a little bit, but it's a little early for all that.
Don't get me started on the railroad here,
Yeah,
so,
I know.
so
I
is
can
it
second
our,
that.
is Nowland right of way through there, or is it the railroad right of way? I wouldn't even bring the railroad involved in it. If you wanna pave through that tunnel, I'd say go do it.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
my 2 cents.
As long as you're not digging a 4-foot ditch down through it,
Yeah, so,
okay.
I'm just gonna mill and pave.
So,
I got some,
About
Yeah.
that,
okay.
does it make the tunnel height even half an inch tighter than it is already?
I mean, that will be taken into consideration. It'll be ground, I assume.
Yeah, the idea is to mill and pave. so-
yeah, but watch it, because we've got utilities through there, they're not the deepest either. You'd have to look at those plans, I think we went relatively shallow through there, and I think there's an electric line that goes underground. We went,
That's in the hillside, what I know of. It
Well,
goes
just-
right through.
get with Sean, there's a lot of
Electric
utilities
line.
in there. Does the community crossings grant allow curb to be done too? 'Cause-
It does, yeah.
Okay, are we not talking about doing some curb? I hope
We
I hope
have been
are.
talking about that.
So I've been talking to him a lot about, to me, it's hard to swallow doing a main thoroughfare like that and not exploring all options.
Absolutely.
So I have been talking with him about redoing curb and even extending curb and get rid of the unimproved parts of Nowland. And then even potentially exploring the proposed sidewalk through there. Talking with a lot of residents there, they always talk about connectivity. I don't know if that's something we can do, but I pretty much have told Kevin to kind of run with that idea and let's see what our options are. And Kevin, you can maybe take this up. The proposed sidewalk idea, that would pretty much be on the city dime.
Because it's not,
Yeah, they won't take, they
Right.
won't pay for it.
But the curb is something that they potentially will do for the grant, correct?
Yeah.
So your walk that you're talking about, it would just be from Hague to, help me, Beckett Landing, right? You're not gonna try to go are you gonna try to go all the way to the pond with that?
With the sidewalk,
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to see, to go as far as possible with it. I mean, obviously, we probably might not be able to do that.
You're gonna get into a lot of walls.
Right,
potentially.
exactly, right, and I'd kind of talked to Vince about it before, and he said the same thing, you guys had talked about it beforehand, and the wall issue, which, that's, we get into having to do structural walls, maybe we just don't go any farther, obviously.
Well, if you can
but-
get to Rolling Meadows, if you can get to Beckett Landing, I mean, there's a sidewalk program
Right.
in there, and then you can go in the back door and get to Schneebelt's Pond, you can stay off of Nowland, be a
Right.
safe way to go, but maybe try to do the Hague to Locust, I guess, is that the road? Yeah, just an idea.
No, I'm good with that, like I said, I just think it's just worth discussing and trying to explore every possibility.
I wanted to ask Linda too, about, how about your parking down there along Nowland? Did you wanna try to do some improved parking along, Schneebelt in front of there? 'Cause
on the
it-
Forest Drive side.
Yeah,
On the forest side, the
Yeah.
hillside?
there's just so many people park and it's just a mud hole over
Well-
there, just
2
maybe-
years ago, we gravelled it, which has helped.
I was we gonna do, concrete or asphalt?
Well, if you're gonna put curbs in, then it's gonna have to be,
I don't know if you
Looked
wanna
I
at.
don't think.
do
I-
curb
I
through
don't think
there,
it's right
I
away.
mean, you're gonna water the shed off to that
yeah, if you
ditch.
do curb through there, you're gonna have to do some storm in
Yeah,
there.
you have to put, you're gonna throw a storm.
Well, we're not gonna do, we wouldn't do curbs in that area.
Oh,
We
okay.
just,
Those are
we
included
pave
in
the
this,
parking
right?
area for you if you like.
I don't know.
Think about it.
I'll
We
think
got,
about it.
we, Kevin,
There are a lot of places I'd rather see spend money than.
okay.
Well,
So, being the non-engineer, and I learned an awful hard lesson on Oakey Avenue. If Greendale ever puts a curb in without a gutter, shame on us. So, gotta have a gutter, because we are not gonna make that mistake again.
Gravity is a powerful force.
Yes. So,
real quick on your scope, your project development, you talk about compile required applications, and the LT asset management approval. Is that have to do with the PASER program?
It does, yeah.
Are you guys still doing your, evaluating the PASERs? Are you going around the roads and doing the PASER evaluation?
So Alan did it last year, and me and him both will do it this year.
Okay. I didn't know if, I would say you guys just ought to keep doing it, or just be consistent, whoever does it.
Yeah.
Because if Rezo does it, there might be different groups of people, you know, that might be doing it. That PASER's pretty good to where people are pretty consistent, but it's not that hard. I'd say just do it in-house. If you can, then give the data to him so he can compile it and submit for the application.
I like the idea of doing it in-house, just so we have an idea of what we think's
Absolutely.
the most important roads to work on for the following year.
And then, last but not least, on construction administration observation, are you guys also proposing to do some inspections on this too?
We can, this fee doesn't necessarily include, you know, a lot of, observation. I mean, we're pretty close, so it's easy to go out there for a minute and check something out, but it's not like a half a day there.
Right.
So,
Well, I just saw the word observation but I didn't see in the verbiage that you allotted for like, 2 hours a day to come in and do
Yeah.
something. I would recommend, because this is what you got into at Tebbs or whatever. Okie, excuse me. But I would recommend, unless you're in a hurry to do this, maybe you can
No.
revise this.
No,
Put in a couple hours, think about the size of how long it's gonna be. Man, so you're going all the way from one to Parkside, huh? It's a big job.
Yeah. Well, the road's gonna be destroyed for the
Yeah.
majority of it, right?
So, I think it'd be prudent to have like some periodic inspections, maybe 2 hours a day over the life of the project. Let's say it's gonna take.
Especially on the gutter falls.
Yeah, I don't know, 2 months worth of work, and just
I can definitely do that.
put some numbers in there, and maybe you can have that particular section, instead of it being like a lump sum, maybe an hourly not to exceed.
We can do that, yep.
And then, dress up the number and have it in there, but you got money in there for those guys to be out there, kind of being eyes and ears, with Nathaniel out there looking at it too, but it's always good to have that extra review. So, if you don't
Well-
mind, I'll just hold off on this and.
We can table it, and
Table
we'll
it.
see you in a couple weeks.
That's fine.
Yep, on our mid-March. Okay, getting back to board, so this is resolution 2026-01, disposal of property. Nathaniel made mention earlier today of, we have been cleaning up. If you guys get a moment, please drive around the Civil City building. It's gone from looking like a war zone to actually looking very respectable. Lot of pride's been taken. We have gotten rid of a lot of things that just were dying down there. And the two things on the resolution are those, we think they were 300-gallon fuel tanks, the elevated ones. If you go on Lutz's website, you'll see they're there, hopefully for sale this Saturday, as long as we pass this resolution tonight. The new tanks are in, they're wired, the bowards are up, they're painted.
Yep, they're in. There was a pad poured with rebar in it. We put bollards around it just to eliminate any issues with that in vehicles. There is a kill switch to each pump and a master kill switch inside the garage. And Charles West is actually in the process of putting a roof and shelter system over top of it. And we already had talked with the fire department and stuff and made sure we were good with all that.
In the mailbox.
Oh, yep, and we put a mailbox up to track all of our fuel logs.
So for the first time, everything is metered. We are going to, even down to a gallon of mixing, steel fuel. We're going to monitor from now on, so. So we're going in the right direction, all brought along from our insurance lady, but we are getting compliant, so it's all good, so. Okay, so we need a motion to pass Board of Works Resolution 2026-01.
Do you need to read it, Anthony, at all or anything?
Just just by title is fine.
Okay. I make a motion to approve, resolution 2026-01 regarding the, authorizing the sale of surplus personal property.
Okay, we have a first, we have a second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Okay,
Hey,
wonderful.
Ben, on
Yes,
the
ma'am.
picture, there's a trailer there too, a small.
That's not ours.
That's not ours, okay.
No. No, and Becky, today I reached out to, the Indianapolis, Bureau of Motor Vehicles, and they are asking to start looking for that title. So I sent the paperwork in for we have another trailer, the old Greendale police trailer. Do you remember that? A little black enclosed trailer? We can't find a title, and it's over there languishing. It's gonna rot into the ground if we don't do something with it soon, so that's kind of where we're headed. Okay, that brings us back to, are we going to adjourn for a minute? Is that the plan?
No, you gotta recess.
Got a recess, so, motion for a recess? I've never done this before.
Yeah, motion make to recess for
Okay.
10 minutes.
All right, got a first, we have a second?
Second.
First and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, do we shut down for a minute? No recording, or does it stay on?
Yeah, she'll pause the recording.
Okay, all right, I'm gonna use the back.
Well, I hope.
Move the chemicals
There's a
out of the
couple
building.
really good plans
We've
out
got,
there.
right now, stay within your footprint and save that property if we have to either expand or put the PFAS.
There's a lot of potential, you know.
The office area, just thinking about the footprint, kind of like a change. What goes on in that office area?
Really?
Is there any,
Not much.
We're back on.
no important wiring going in there, other than the SCADA goes there and ties their computer or whatever? I mean,
Okay.
Pulse precinct
Guys,
stuff.
we're back on.
If that office area.
What I was thinking of is the salt. You know,
Salt
that
storage.
Salt has become a problem.
It's always been a problem.
And if we get it up out of that hole, and
Well,
not everything drain into our well field,
Well,
then we can get
let's
things
start that.
cleaned up down there.
Yeah, let's start, should we have that conversation now?
Call the meeting back to order.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting back to order, after our 10-minute recess. So, we're talking about American Structure Point and moving forward with the remodel of the water plant, although Charlie has he has a very legitimate concern about the salt storage. And I probably need to reach out to Karen this week, and I will ask her about that.
Where's the house now?
It's in 2 bins behind the building.
Too big,
2 big silos, yeah.
above ground tanks.
Where does the storm on Ridge Avenue itself drain to? Does it go down Probasco?
Goes down Probasco. There is some storm out back of the plant that drops down over the hill.
There's a storm drain there.
Yeah, but everything else goes from Ridge, it all goes towards Tanner's.
I don't know if you saw this, did you see Complete Contractors working on Broadway the other day?
The raw line for Shenley, the 16-inch raw line, they found the hole, and it was a hole in their line, and they've been off of their well line and been running off city water for over a year.
Right.
A year?
Yes, because it wasn't in their budget to get it fixed last year. And it was last winter that we discovered it, and it wasn't in their budget, so they did it now. And it was probably like a 1-inch hole right at the bell.
It's not the first time that's happened. They've had problems
Well,
with that line.
the reason I'm bringing that up is, I think you told me once that well has the ability to pull the salt that's creating problems for Lawrenceburg.
No,
I'm wrong?
yeah.
Okay.
The wells that were pulling the salt was Giles.
Giles, okay. And now they have a loop system and it's not, they're not pulling water out like they were.
Yeah, they were pumping 1 million a day, and the salt disappeared from Lawrenceburg's well, number 3, and then they stopped pumping, and about 6 months later, it was back.
Okay. All right, I had that wrong, so, okay. All right, well, I will ask Karen about the salt storage problem, and I'll get her thoughts on that. In the meantime, while we're working towards this SRF deadline, we are talking about, what are they called, Andy? It's,
Let me see. Project management and meetings, cost of $34,800 to get the project started, and then another $41,300 to get to the PER and basis of design, which is where we need to be for an application for SRF.
as well as the grant that Mike Perleberg spoke of earlier tonight.
Right.
So
That's a total of $76,100.
Okay.
So task one, task one, the project management and meetings, and task two, the PER and basic design, those add up to 34,800, I can't already read, it's 41,
76,100 for both of them.
76,100.
76,100 for both.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to put that in motion?
I'll put that in a motion that we approve the first 2 box task items for a total of $76,100 so that we can make application for SRF funds.
Or through American Structure Point?
American Structure Point.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. In the meantime, I will reach out to Karen and ask her about the salt problem and see how we go from that. Yes, sir?
I already talked to her about that. That was part of the discussion we had when she was here last time. Thinking about enclosing that where it keeps any blown out salt right there in that pit where the tanks sit in. It doesn't go out in the road. The rain doesn't wash it down the hill. It stays in that pit, and there's that drain that goes in. They were talking about somehow enclosing that with like a pole barn type thing over top, something to keep it. Because the problem is truck drivers get down there, if they're not babysitted, they're in a hurry and they blast that until it blows out the top, and we have salt everywhere.
Yep.
But inside, Andy, too, just to let you know, inside that curbed area, there's a drain, but that drain goes into the water plant, then that gets pumped to the sewer.
Yeah, goes into something.
Yeah,
To make sure that nothing else was going over the hill. But what they're talking about is just housekeeping, how that salt could get dispersed on the parking lot.
And it happens. If that tank is not as low as your operators thought it was when they ordered a load of salt and he overfills it, it comes out the top and it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And that truck driver's sitting in his truck and has no idea what's happening.
And it doesn't care.
And doesn't really care, right?
No, I've already experienced that with them.
And that salt's all blown up in there? Is that how it?
Yep.
Air
Yep.
takes it up there?
You don't hear it when it shows up?
Oh, I hear it. I've never walked down there to experience it, so. Okay. All right. Is there anything else
About that,
in general?
in general, the cabin has been completely rewired. It will not go up in flames.
Awesome.
Nice.
So,
Just one more thing on the water plant, just on Charlie's points. I know, one option was to move the salt bins up into the lot next door where the house is over there and move the softeners up there as well. Just to put it in perspective, it was an $8.3 million project.
Right, it's 3 million more.
Versus the
Right.
5 million, so 3.3 million more.
Right.
Just-
Well, we just need to
It is,
address the salt
but how
storage
much
problem.
money did we spend trying to clean up
Yeah.
the salt problem over the hill?
Yeah.
And if it don't go away, it's,
No, these are all valid points that we need to address, and I'll make her aware of them again, so. Okay. Good deal. Okay. You have something, Mary?
Oh,
okay.
I thought she said she had.
Oh, okay, got yours?
wait, mine in there.
Yes. So, going into your, I didn't catch the name of the electrician, but he did do a nice job.
Yep.
Nick Rowe.
He did a very good job, and when that all started, that was a phone call I made to him on a Saturday emergency situation, so I mean,
And he came.
Okay.
So
Started the same day.
What happened? there?
Well, they had a wedding and a reception in the building, and they brought some $20,000 speaker system, and they didn't blow the speakers, they blew the electric.
Why?
And it was the same wedding party that my wife was in and the
Yes.
whole 9 yards. I had both cell phones ringing.
I have no relatives involved, and I was still sick of it.
Yeah.
Well, usually it's, what, 3 or 4 crock pots in the kitchen, and stuff was blowing all the
I'm really
time.
happy, and the tidying up work, the painting of the conduit and stuff, we're doing in-house. Charles West is a meticulous person. He's fixing a drywall patch today, and he's going to be painting conduit, and, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, it was done with minimal disruption, not aesthetic disruption to the cabin. They really did a nice job and kind of removed some of the old wiring that was in the logs. So,
Really?
which was always gonna be a concern as we went forward, so, did a nice job.
Sleep at night.
Yes,
Except for my conscience. That's a separate issue.
Noted. All right, need a motion to dismiss.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Got a first? All in favor? Aye. Perfect. Thank you all.
They're still not, safe passages to school grants and stuff like